Hello, wonderful people. This is Stephanie Nadolny for Wonderbot Animals, and here is... A highway officer arrests a sea lion for stopping cars on the freeway. Before we begin, make sure to click the like button, subscribe to our channel, and click the notification button for more amazing videos. The job of a policeman is not easy at all, and Officer Roger Pereira knows that too well. You can never be sure what to expect on the job, and one day, Officer Roger Pereira received a phone call that left him speechless. He was called in because a sea lion was supposedly stopping cars on the highway. The officer thought that surely some of his friends must be pulling a prank on him, but this wasn't the case. Officer Roger Pereira is a good man who loves nothing more than to do his job and protect his community. He is assigned to the highway patrol, and most of the time he is on the lookout for speeding cars. Even though the officer's main task is to catch speeding drivers and to give them a fine, this is not what he always does. He sometimes has to deal with serious issues that are causing traffic jams, and this makes his job quite stressful. Our story starts when Officer Roger Pereira receives a really strange call from the control center. The person on the other line told the officer to get in his car and rush to the highway because a sea lion is stopping cars and blocking the traffic. Officer Roger Pereira knew that there was no way that a sea lion somehow made it on the highway, and he laughed when he received the call. However, his smile disappeared when the control center told him that it wasn't a joke. The officer couldn't believe what he was hearing. His friends at the station were not pulling a prank on him, and a sea lion is actually running on the highway. Without wasting any more time, the officer jumped into his car and started driving towards the highway. Even though the officer was ready to do anything in order to get his job done, he had to admit that he was also super curious. He couldn't believe that a sea lion arrived on the highway, and he had to see this with his own eyes. As we can clearly see, the officer was not lied to. There was, in fact, a sea lion running free on the highway, and this scared everyone. The officer arrested the little guy and took him into his car. Luckily for the baby sea lion, the drivers on the highway realized that he was in trouble, and they stopped their cars around him. Fortunately, this protected the sea lion from running into the traffic and getting hurt by speeding drivers. The officer had to arrest the sea lion, and fortunately, the animal didn't resist the arrest. To make things even more amazing, the sea lion somehow knew that the officer wanted to help him and jumped into his car's back seat right when the door was opened. Good thing that Officer Roger Pereira decided to take some pictures of the sea lion arrest on the highway, because otherwise, no one would have believed what happened. This is an incredible story, and there's no doubt about that. It doesn't take a genius to figure this out, but the sea lion was lost. He somehow lost his way from the beach, and he didn't know how to get back to his family and friends. Luckily, Officer Roger Pereira was there to help. The officer took the sea lion to the Marine Mammal Center, where they specialize in helping lost sea lions find their way home. Not just that, but the people who work at the Marine Mammal Center will also give the sea lion a full health checkup to see if he is okay. It didn't take long for the cute sea lion to start making new friends. He loved running around with his new friends in the big pool. However, he was not going to be a permanent resident at the Marine Mammal Center. He needed to go back to his home. The caretakers didn't want to simply release the sea lion into the water, and they kept him around for a couple of days to feed him healthy food and to get an idea of where his parents might be. Almost a week passed by since the sea lion arrived at the Marine Mammal Center, and he was ready to be released. Not just that, but the friendly sea lion was going to be accompanied by a couple of other sea lions who needed to find their way back to the ocean as well. After performing one last full health checkup, the caretakers who work at the Marine Mammal Center were ready to release the sea lion back into the ocean. The sea lion and his new friends were super happy to go back to the ocean. Let's hope that our friendly sea lion learned his lesson and that he is no longer going to wander off by himself. We have to give praise to Officer Roger Pereira for doing such a great job. He didn't just help out the people stuck in traffic, but he also made sure that the baby sea lion is taken to people who can help him find his family. If there is something that we can all agree about, it has to be the fact that policemen have a tough job. Isn't it crazy that a regular day on the job implies having to deal with a lost sea lion? We are glad to let everyone know that our story has a happy ending. The friendly sea lion has made his way back home, and Officer Roger Pereira is now back on duty once again.